sort of here to talk about some of my favourite Irish songs. There's a lot to pick from, but I'm picking the ones that I've thought about them, and I'll pick the ones that I would evoke memories in me. They wouldn't exactly be on your playlist, but the name of the first one is the Muttonborn stream, and the history of that. Apparently when I was about 7 or 8, this was my party piece, the Muttonborn stream, and I learned the words of it from an old 78 record that was in my grandmother's house up in Fermanagh. It was sung by a man called Richard Haywood, and I used to play that and then turn it around. On the other side was The Finding of Moses. Both nice little songs, and I learned them off not a very not a song you'd associate with a 7-year-old, but I actually loved the song. It had its own, told the story of a river in County Antrim, and the Muttonborn stream seemed to be this little river, and as the song says, not marked on the world's map, nowhere to be seen, this little river in Ulster, the Muttonborn stream, and it had great magical powers. So I used to fascinate my mind to be going all over the place looking and thinking of this magical river way up in County Antrim. Apart from hearing it on the old 78 record up in Granny's house in Fermanagh, there was a film commissioned about slum clearance in Fintona, and it had been archived. It had been made in 1953 and it was archived for a number of years. And when that, my father was involved in the making of the film. And when the film was brought out, we got an invitation down to the Mansion House in Dublin to view the film. So we were all delighted to see that. The other film that day was about County Antrim, or the north coast, and the background music was the Muttonborn stream, sang by Richard Haywood. And that was the other time I actually heard it outside of Granny's. Now I have heard it recently, sang by a folk singer from County Antrim called Bobby Hanby, and he has a traditional group going, and I've heard him sing it. When I was 7 years of age, this was just a magical image of this great river, and there was lines in it like it turned a mill wheel and grinds the folks' corn. It also had magical curing powers, so no matter what ailment you had, it would cure you of, it would rid you of fatness and cure you of lean. And the jaundice itself now, or a weak heart or poor spleen, would all be cured magically by the Muttonborn stream.
So my first song is The Homes of Donegal. And even though that we're in Tyrone and I'm a Tyrone person, my first Irish song is The Homes of Donegal, specifically by Paul Brady. Whenever we were young in Fintona, the two big singers of our time were Brady Gallagher and Eileen Donahue. Brady is a Donegal woman, Eileen was a Tyrone woman, and the mother famously of Plunkett Donahue, the Tyrone player. And they were big names in our house and well regarded. And around that time, when I was young girl, schoolgirl, Brady Gallagher brought out the recorded version of The Homes of Donegal, and it just gripped me. I love the song. It's about I suppose an immigrant basically leaving home, but I love the words. That is, I just loved the words and the images that the song created and so forth. And in later years, in recent times, I came across a recording of Paul Brady, and I thought Paul gave a beautiful, different twist, and I bought his CD, and yeah, I'll name that as my number one. Well, it was on TG Cahir. In fact, they do a lovely little 15-minute program every day called Aber Auran, and in Irish that means say a song, because in Irish you don't sing a song, you say a song. And there was a version of a fella, I think his name was Jimmy McGee, young man sitting outside his house in Donegal with his little lads around him, and he played the guitar and played that, and it was beautiful. It was almost as good as Paul Brady's version. The musicality, the tune itself was very appealing, but I think as a young girl it appealed to me first and foremost for the words. I just stepped in to see you all, I'll only stay a while. Want to see how you're getting on, I want to see you smile. I'm happy to be back again to greet you one and all, for there's nowhere else in Ireland like the homes of Donegal. And that sort of resonated with me. And then just phrases the word used, your hearts are like your mountains in the homes of Donegal. The kettle bubbling on the crook. Just those little gems of lyrics appeal to me.
Well, the song is called The Green Fields of France, and it's well known. Probably people call it Willie McBride because that's the main character in it. I'm not really sure if it is an Irish song as such. It's always been kind of taken as an Irish song, but it's actually an anti-war song, and it was written by a man called Eric Bogle, but it was made famous by the Furey brothers and Davy Arthur. And that's where I came across it, because growing up in the 1980s in a house in Fintona, County Tyrone, well, we had tape cassette players, and that was our entertainment. Now, of course, we had TVs and things like that there, but if you want to listen to something specific, yeah, listen to tape cassettes. And there was two in our house that were my favourites, one of them being Furey Brothers and Davy Arthur, and the other being Johnny McAvoy. And I would have played those back to back, and my brothers think I'm a Philistine when it comes to popular music and stuff, but that was the choice I was left with. It's a very haunting song insofar as, you know, the first lines of it are, well, how do you do, young Willie McBride? Do you mind if I sit here down by your graveside? That's, as I say, it was in the 80s that I learned that. I was only a little girl at the time. I mean, a little girl of about 6 or 7, and this was my favourite song. But I think I liked the way that it was so comforting. Like, because whenever it starts off, you don't actually realise that they're referring to a gravestone. But then they say, do you mind if I sit here down by your gravestone? But I think it's the conversation, you know, and then the man's surmising as to, did you leave a wife or a sweetheart behind? It just, the word, even, I'm getting like goosebumps just saying the words of it, because it was a romantic sort of a song. You know, some of I think the words are just phenomenal. Like, I mean, did you leave ne'er a wife or a sweetheart behind? In some faithful heart is your memory enshrined. Like, that's just beautiful. It's really, really lovely. And then of course the music, and then the chorus of it. Did the pipes play flowers of the forest or fallen? I never quite knew which word was the thing, but I sang it at the top of my voice regardless. But yeah, no, I thought it was so lyrical. The lyrics are so lyrical. It was so poetic, and so, to me, can just bring you right back to that place. I didn't ever know where the grave of Willie McBride was until I was a bit older. I don't even know if there was such a person, but apparently there is in Belgium. And you know, I suppose it's like reading a really, really good book. You kind of get you can be transported by a song, and that's one of the songs that transports me. Every time I heard it as a child, I would imagine, you know, where is this place? Where is this graveside? Yeah, I love it, and a lot of my family know all the words of it, as do I. Although I don't sing, I do sing. I'm not very musically gifted, so I'll leave that for someone else.